So we'll just go ahead and take care of a few housekeeping pieces as we have a few friends still entering. First up, the Wi-Fi password is on the slide on the screen. So if you want to hook your phone up or if you use your device today, you won't really need your laptop, but you'll see the Wi-Fi password if you need it. I'll give you a minute to kind of take a picture of that or log in. So for those of you I haven't met before, I'm Michelle Goaley. I'm the Early Literacy Project Director for MAISA, and I am so excited to welcome you to this event. It is great to see all these wonderful familiar literacy faces and new ones. Raise your hand in here if you're a new coach, a new literacy coach. So look around and help them out. Give them a hand. All right, so our big checklist for the day so that you can settle in and enjoy these 2 days of learning, we'll just kind of go through our housekeeping items. If you are virtual, we have a site up in Marquette, and we have about 75 virtual participants. Just make sure you add to your name, you add a G, that if you are with a group and you will not be needed in a breakout. And then just be patient with us as we navigate a hybrid setting with 400 people in our space and about 100 people online. We'll have the slides displayed to take us through our content, but please know that your agenda that you received this morning by email has every single link that's in the slides today. So when you want to go back and reference the learning, you can click open anything right from that agenda. You won't have to navigate the slides to do that. All the tools are going to be on the agenda, but you also have your workbook and a memory mat and a few other tools that you picked up today. Those workbooks we'll use all year in the network, so bring them with you. In person, October 14th. If you are online, you will get your hard copies of things then. Coffee and water will be out all day. Pop only at lunch. There is no afternoon snack, but there are great desserts. So I just wanted to make sure you knew. When you go to lunch, take a dessert so that you've got it with you for the afternoon. Parking passes are for 11 hours. So if you are driving back and forth, you're good to go. You won't be charged for parking. And if you're staying the night, make sure you put your parking on your room, and we will take care of that with the literacy grant. All right. Slido, we will continue to use Slido this year as a feedback opportunity for you. So we encourage you to grab your phone and scan the Slido code. We will have a Q&A open the whole 2 days behind the scenes. Any questions about anything that you want to ask, feel free to put those in to the Q&A. Our team, our early literacy team, will be checking that and getting back with you, or creating kind of a guide that comes out of those Q&As. Gives us an insight on common questions and patterns that we're seeing. So feel free to use that Q&A. I've got our norms of collaboration on this slide. Just take a minute and read through them. You're very familiar with these, I'm sure. I'm just looking around the room to see if anyone still needs the Slido. Looks like we're pretty good. Okay. And then we put some working agreements together for today. Just make sure you silence your devices. We're going to be listening and engaging a lot with our researchers today, and we just want to make sure that you're able to be an active participant. So engage, ask questions, participate, contribute. We have 2 mic runners for the day. I believe it's Stephanie and Leslie. Will you raise your hand if you have the mic and you're a mic runner today? And go ahead, stand up and go grab a mic. Great, thanks, yeah. So when we're asking for share outs, we would love for you to contribute. So please don't be shy. It makes it a better experience for all of us when you're sharing and contributing. You're also gonna have a callback that we use today. So when we try to get your attention, we usually just raise our hand and then everybody raises their hand. In a room of 400, that can be difficult. So we're going to use the callback coaching matters. So when I say coaching, your reply will be matters. So we'll practice it once right now. Coaching, and then we'll get quiet and be ready to go. So thank you for that. Make sure that at the end of our session tomorrow, I think it'll be our afternoon break, we'll be putting that feedback form out. We have used all of the feedback from the quarterly meetings and from last year's Institute to plan for these 2 days of learning. So your feedback matters, what you want and need in your learning space matters. So make sure that you fill out that form so that we can get that feedback. And again, networking, this is a great opportunity for us all to be in person together. Doesn't happen often, so make sure that you're using that networking time to connect. We do, I believe, have the temperature being lowered in here. I can see a lot of people fanning, so if you were here for the last 2 days of math, it was so cold in here. So I'm sure they're adjusting the temperature, so that will get better. All right, I just want to welcome some friends that may be in the room with us, our General Ed Leadership Network. If we have any GELN members in the room, would you just stand for a minute? I think we've got a couple. All right, Katie, any others? All right. Oh, yes, good. Okay, yay. All right. What about our MDE partners? And if they're not in here, I know why. One. Okay, yay, okay, there. I'm like, if she's not in here, I know why. All right, so welcome. I'm so glad that we've got our partners in the room today. If you are a member of the Early Literacy Task Force, would you please take a minute and stand so you can be recognized? Great, thank you. And I would also just like to recognize that we have a new co-chair joining me on the task force, and that is Katie Harris, if Katie would stand. So great. We are so excited to have you. All right, and with that, our partner in Everything Literacy, MDE, and Rebecca Young, I'm gonna turn it over to her for a welcome.
Thank you. Oh, good morning. Do I need to hold this? Okay. Good morning. It is so amazing to see everyone in person. We have people virtual as well, don't we? Okay. Hello to everyone virtual. It is my pleasure and distinct honor to really kick off Why Coaching Matters. So if you're taking a look at some of the things that are listed on this slide, you can see that we have made substantial investments in coaching over many, many years. I'm not going to read the slide to you, but you can see that all of that is tied to our state-endorsed coaching model. When we're thinking about resources, MDE is also creating some robust resources and landing spots so you can further your learning. So I wanted to call out our dyslexia and literacy page. It's linked on this slide so that you can refer to that and explore some of those resources that we're creating. One of our big partners as well in all of this is the MyMTSS. And I know at our last Coaching Institute, they came and spoke about the Dyslexia Research Network. So we encourage all coaches to join that if you haven't. The application closes August 15th. So please, please sign up. And it is my pleasure to also do 3 callbacks with you real quick. Are we ready? Coaching. Coaching. Coaching? Matters. Okay, have an amazing institute.
All right, we've got that down. Okay, so I wanted to take you through a few of the tools that I know you will be regularly using in your work. And I've just put some screenshots up here so that while we're all together, we could have a common message about some of the adjustments and enhancements we've made in our tools. So the Literacy Essentials .org website has been completely revamped over the course of the year, but also some tweaks this summer that I think will be really helpful when you're navigating. So you see these 4 like accordion sections. They also are at the top. So under the essential instructional practices, you're going to see all the resources that have been developed related to each set of practices. Professional learning is going to include all of our modules, and those landing pages are where you're going to find anything that you need that's been presented over the course of the past few years in the network. So this document will be your best friend. You'll want to bookmark it. You can get to it from your Google Drive, or you can get to it from the website. So just wanted to bring attention to that. It will have all our past agendas, so you might want to go back and reference something when it comes up in your work. You'll be able to do that just on this landing page, and this will be updated regularly. Also, that section on PA 146 dyslexia resources. So in addition to what MDE has provided as far as resources, GELN has had a work group, a dyslexia work group. If you were on that work group, will you just raise your hand or stand up for me? Yes, I see a couple hands. All right, thank you for that. So they have worked really hard to put together some easy to reference resources. And so when you click on the dyslexia resources, this MAISA page will come up. But the two I really want you to draw attention to and look at, one of them is the implementation timeline. So that law is quite robust in reading. If you were actually reading the legislative language, this is a timeline that makes it a lot easier for you to navigate when things will be happening and the timeline of implementation for the assessments and the curriculum list and all of those things. So take a look at that. And then there is a crosswalk summary from Read by Grade 3 to PA 146. So as we transition from the work we've been doing with Read by Grade 3, now that's becoming the dyslexia law. So that crosswalk will help you think through what transitions you might need to make in your districts, or guidance you might need to help provide your administrators and your leadership teams. All right, and we also have outside, just to the left, when you walk out this door, Erin Pell with My Coach Compass. So she has a bunch of goodies out there, but also a ton of information for districts who might be interested in shifting over to use My Coach Compass for coaching data collection, tracking time, but also it's a portal that will allow really positive opportunities for collaboration with the teachers you work with, the administrators you work with, and it kind of gets you out of that Google spreadsheet that you might be using now and into a portal that will just be a little bit more effective for you. So if you're interested in that, Erin is here today only, and you can stop and see her out there. All right, some actual tools you have with you in front of you. I'm gonna walk you through a couple things so that you're understand what you've got. You've got design cards. You should have picked up a deck of cards that's on a ring. These design cards were put together by our researcher, Dr. Allison Fox-Resnick, in collaboration with the leadership team from math. So if you have math colleagues, they received the same design deck, and it will be a tool that you'll use today when Dr. Fox-Resnick is up here with us, but we will use that throughout the network as well. So I just want to make sure that everybody's got those cards. And then you have your Institute workbook. So what I'd like to do is walk through those first few pages so you know what's in there for reference. If you open up the workbook, you're going to see these first 2 pages are the agenda for today, but also the coaching network dates for the whole year. So you've got everything right in front of you. If you don't have it already in your calendar, this will help you get organized. The QR code on the left will be our feedback form, and it will not be open till tomorrow. So when we ask you to fill out the form, you've got the QR code. You can do it right from your workbook and your phone. The QR codes on the right take you to our Facebook and Instagram pages. So we would love if throughout the day you took pictures while you're collaborating, or if you're out to dinner with your team, we would love a picture and a post from you. That would be great. Flipping through the pages, this is just putting faces and names together from our MAISA team. Everyone in those bright green squares are members of our early literacy team at MAISA. And so just wanting to make sure that you know the people you can lean into in your work. Then flipping to the next set, you will see this is a nice outline, especially if you're a new coach or a coach onboarding a new administrator. You might have a new principal, you might have a new leader within your ISD work. This will help explain what the trajectory is and what the law says a 35A coach needs to be participating in. So the trajectory includes this annual institute, the coaching kickoff if you're a new coach, the network meetings, the quarterlies, and then the intensive, the coaching intensive, which you will hear more about later today. And then the 35A grant assurances are listed in here. These assurances go all the way through September 30. And then once we get a state budget, we will start a new set of assurances on October 1st. So MDE works closely with MAISA to make any adjustments to those assurances. So a few people have asked, is anything going to change in the assurances? We won't know that until we're 100% ready to go on October 1st. So if you hear anything about that, it'll be October. Just wanted to make sure you had a hard copy of that and you reference that and use it in your work. The next 2 pages, you may be familiar with this, but this again is a really nice resource when you have a district that you're trying to connect to as far as the investment in the essentials. So these are the 10 essential district commitments. If you had someone scan that QR code, it would pop right up. It's also on our website. Every link in here is clickable. So when you have it on a device, you are able to get to all of the essentials in all of the places really easily. And if you have a superintendent or a principal or an ISD administrator that really needed kind of like, I don't know what the essentials are, what do I need to know? This would really help them. So just wanted to make sure you're aware of that resource and able to use that in your work. So the next pages are, this is our new graphic. So many of you participated in submitting your coaching cycle data this year. And so we've put together this graphic with Dr. Lallier with her support and a lot of input from many coaches who've been doing coaching cycles for years. And so we'll be using this throughout the network over the course of the year. And then these are the templates. So you have a hard copy of them with you. If you want to use this to take some notes on or in your work when you're together with your team, this is something that you can easily reference and check out. So I wanted to make sure you saw that. And then there are 2 other sections I want you to kind of skip to in your workbook. One is the coaching practices, and it's tabbed. So if you're, many of you are familiar with these, this is the foundation of our work, but I wanted you to have a fresh copy of it, easy to access. And what might be new to many of you is that goal setting section that's right behind the practices. So that is something for you as a coach to utilize when you are working on enhancing your coaching skills. It's a great resource. It was developed in 2020. We've used it in pathway learning, tools that maybe are something that we want to bring to the surface and use with our teams. So this also could be something that if you have a coaching team that you work with and you all want to, kind of spend some time digging in and reflecting and growing, please reference this. And you've got a hard copy of it here. It's again on the website as well. So just wanted to make sure you knew what documents you had in your workbook. There are several things that you will use when Steve is up here. So he'll guide you, and then there's some regional coaching information in there. When Shelley Goal comes up a little bit later today, you'll dig into that. So that should set you up for everything you've got for the next 2 days as far as your tools in hand. And I did just want to add around the coaching cycle work that a couple celebrations. So 440 reports were submitted across the state of Michigan. Look at the progress over the past 4 years of how much data we've collected. Just take a minute, give yourselves a round of applause. We had 49 ISDs out of 56 submit that data. That data is helping so much to guide the support and learning and to tell our story. We are seeing such significant gains in classrooms, in students in classrooms who have a coach who engage in coaching cycles. So this is the data that I wanted to share with you today and celebrate. So this is for the first time since we've had the grant, have we had a concerted effort to collect data around the work you do. So the key finding, classrooms where teachers engage in full coaching cycles see significant gains in both teacher practice and student achievement. So over the past 2 years, the data we've collected around teacher practice has shown 75.8% of teachers have met or exceeded the goals they set during those cycles. For student outcomes, over the past 4 years, when we take all of that data and look at it, 73.7% of students in the classrooms where teachers engaged in coaching met or exceeded the expectations set. So we are going to spend a lot of time with Dr. Lallier and Aisha Williams in our October quarterly, and they're going to take us through some exemplars of those reports that will help guide you maybe in your work to think about what kind of data can I use in a coaching cycle? What tools does the district have available so that I can use data that really matters and really can help show the story of the coaching work? So that's coming October 14th. You will be set up for success in collecting that data after that October 14th meeting. So I don't want anyone, especially if you're new, I don't want you to worry about, what data that you need to have and what data you need to be collecting. We're really going to spend a lot of time digging into that together. All right, the other tool you should have with you is your annual report. So if you could pull that out, this is what the cover is. So this is really going to be kind of our engagement activity for this morning to get us up and moving for the first time. But I did want to share with you what is this document. So this is the year-long summary of what our funding, our state funding from 35A has provided as far as professional learning and support to coaches over the course of the year. So you may or may not have seen this document in the past. This is the first time we've gotten it done in time for the Institute. So we're very excited that you have it in your hands and you can walk away with it. Why does it matter? So 35A4 is the funding that goes to ISDs so that coaches, that we can have statewide coaching. 35A7 is the funding that goes through MAISA in order to provide you the professional learning to be the coach that you need to be to make a difference, right? So if we want to continue that funding, we want to make sure we tell our story. So this annual report is a summary, but it's also a lot of data in here that shows how impactful the work we do is. And so who should you share it with? Anyone and everyone. At our ISD, when I was at Bay Area, when we had a legislative panel, they got one of these reports. We want them to see what this funding actually does for our work with teachers and students. So share it with your admin, share it with your teams. When people ask you about your job, share it with them. A lot of times people outside of education, they don't understand what coaching is or they don't know what this grant does. This helps tell our story. So what we're going to ask you to do is a bit of an engagement activity here. So you're going to open it up to the table of contents. You pick what you want to explore. So take a look at it. The math work is in here as well. So that is part of our professional learning grant, is supporting math professional learning across the state. You're going to get about 3 minutes to explore. Then we're going to have you stand up and find anyone at a neighboring table and just share out. What did you learn? What did they learn? And then we'll do the call back to get you back. Okay? So we'll give you 3 quiet minutes here to take a look, and then we'll have you stand up and pair up. All right, that was 3 minutes. So what I'd like you to do is stand up and turn around and find someone at another table to do a quick 3-minute share out. Rich is going to put us in breakout rooms online. Coaching. We're going to try our first callback. Ready? Coaching. 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 All right. Thank your partner and have a seat. And if I could get the slide up, there we go. So just one thing, if you could share in the Slido, one thing you're excited about that you heard about today, this morning. That's a lot of information I ran you through quickly so that you would have some context for the next couple days. What's one thing you're excited about?